Welcome back, everyone. What a load of bowls, and very special episode this week. We're raising the bat this week, and for people like Simon who don't understand that reference, it's a cricketing reference, Simon. When a batsman gets to 50, 100, 150, they tend to raise the bat to the crowd. That's what we're doing this week, mate. So, welcome, Simon Little.
That is
How are you, buddy? What have you been up to in the last 2 weeks?
Taking a break from bowls, but it's been a bit of family time, which has been good. I actually went for a bit of a hike today with Ellie on a backpack, so the legs are feeling sore. Definitely will be a sore body tomorrow.
It's a bit harsh making her carry in a backpack already.
Yeah, she's in the backpack.
Oh, she's in the backpack. I thought you were in the backpack. Sorry.
Yeah, she's in the backpack.
Sorry, I'm just used to you being the backpack for this podcast and being carrying it. So.
Okay, yeah. But 50th episode, can't believe we've made it, hey?
Yeah, I know. Well, I can't believe you made it.
Still here.
We're doing all right, man. And not only that, 10,000 views, 10,000 listens, was it? We got this week as well.
Yeah, crunched over the 10,000 downloads for the podcast.
Nice.
So yeah, that's good. And yeah, that's downloads, but obviously people stream it without downloading, so we've had a lot more streams as well on top of that. So some great numbers, and yeah, thanks to everyone for tuning in, whether it's your first or your 50th or anywhere in between. Thanks for listening and spending time with us and listening to us and what we rabble on about in terms of Bulls World and results and things like that. So hopefully you see some value out of it, and yeah, we love doing it. So hopefully we can keep going, and do another 50 at least.
It's been a pretty good 12 months, mate. So yeah, we might as well kick on and keep on going. So Bulls World in the last couple of weeks. State pennant finals in Bulls New South Wales were held recently, mate.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So they were. Did you keep up to date with any results there?
I did, yeah. I was keeping an eye on one team in Grade 1, but I didn't have to keep an eye on them all again because, made an exit out of the competition,
They did what is now referred to as a turn point.
Okay.
So they did. Exited pretty quickly.
Exit stage left.
Yeah, it wasn't very good, mate. A lot of disappointed people, mate. Personally, individually, as a team. I mean, after the highs of last year, started off like a house on fire, mate. Like there was nobody really getting near at one point, and then just the green just changed a bit in the afternoon in the game against St. John's. We were up by about 15, ended up losing by 5. And then we came out against a very, very hungry Merimbula side the next morning. And Michael Wilkes turned back the clock against our rink. We'll just leave it at that. So hell with now, wasn't very good, mate. Good weekend in terms of the camaraderie. Everything was good. Nobody whinging or backstabbing, which is pretty unique in some instances. But tough weekend, all right. I mean, we had a few expectations going in there. Would have liked to go one better than last year, but it wasn't to be. So gets a little bit harder next year with 2 Tyrone Point teams in Grade 1 next year, aren't there, Simon?
Yeah, probably will be. Yep.
Yeah. Well done to Carmel, who got the win in Grade 1. Johnny Green, Eric Johannes, and the boys. He was very quick to say, "That's 4 now, DJ. I need to come on the podcast." So he was. So we might have to see if we're getting Greeny on there. That would be an interesting one, getting him on there. But well done to Johnny and the boys getting that win there for Carmel, and sure, that would mean a lot to John too. I mean, the 3 at Tyrone Point would have meant a heck of a lot because of what you guys had built that around that time. But Carmel's it's a local club to Johnny and just around the corner. So to go back there and just have a bit of a dig and then go on and win a state pennant was good. Age-old question, though, made about the quarterfinal, semi-final thing. Carmel, they beat they beat Grandviews in the final, having lost to Grandviews in the section.
Yeah, right.
So they did. Did something similar on the way to winning their regional flag too, mate. They lost the grand final qualifier to Windang, and then came back to won the next game, and then went back to the grand final, knocked Windang off too. So they like to do it the hard way, Carmel. But a couple of close games there with Grandviews too. Grandviews got the edge of the first one, and then they got the edge in the final. So a few people keeping an eye on a certain Newcastle side too that had just been announced to go into platinum. And they went out to Carmel at the quarterfinal stage, so they're a bit disappointed with that too. It was just goes to show you, like on the day, it's certainly platinum has leveled out Grade 1. It's give a few other teams a chance to do something that they maybe wouldn't have been able to do if all those top sides were back there in Grade 1. So it's definitely done at that level what it was supposed to do.
Yeah.
It's just a case now of trying to build those sides up and build the regions up so that we're not having to have runners up. I think we had 3 runners up. go through to state finals this year. Would have been a lot of controversy had one of those got up. Luckily, they didn't at this stage. But yeah, we need to get to a stage where 16 regions are represented at Grade 1. So we do. That's what I think, mate. But yeah, good weekend all around. Good show by Ed along again. John Roberts and the boys, they know how to put a show on, mate. It's just an army of volunteers. Like
they've been
your schooner glass or your
your
schooner glass or your dinner plate empties and it's going off the table. You know, they clear everything up. They look after you. They make sure you're happy and all that there. And so always smiling and happy to greet you. So yeah, well done, Ed along. So isn't off to Yamba next year for Grade 1. So they are.
That was Grade 1 and all the other grades as well were playing. Did any of their Maitland side do any good?
Yeah, I made Grade 3. Made it through to the grand final. Went down to a very strong Gulgong sign. So, yeah, I mean, it was great hearing from them throughout the whole weekend. Obviously, we'd gone out. It was a little bit disappointing, but just the way they all banded together up there in Grade 3 and fought through to get to the final. They lost the game in their section. And they went into a must-win game after that and managed to get through second in the section. And, got all the way through to the final and battled hard. They stuck with Gulgong as long as they could, but it sort of blew out towards the end as they were chasing shots. But now, well done to Grade 3, and our Grade 4 went down. Mate, they lost a 5 on one rink and a 2 on the other to go down by 1 in the quarterfinal to local rivals Beresfield. So, bit of a sting there for them guys, but yeah, they were again happy days. They were just happy to be there, and they'll be thirsty for next year too. So they will. So.
Yep, nice.
Looking forward to building over the next 6-8 months before we get into pennants again.
Yeah, well, that was a big weekend around the state. We had sort of grade finals all across the state. And I'm sure congratulations to all those teams that ended up victorious and being the winners of each grade. And well done to those teams. And hopefully, if your team played there or you played in state finals, hopefully if you didn't win it, hopefully you learned something and keen to fight next year and keep the fire in the belly and do it again.
Yeah, and well done to those players that were good enough to make it into the New South Wales state sides that were released this week. We won't dwell on that too much because we've got something a bit more special for the viewers coming up, or for the listeners. But Jack McShane owes us a thank you, mate. We managed to get him into the men's state side. No doubt it wouldn't have happened without this podcast, so you're welcome, Jack. You now owe us an episode. Come and have a chat, champ. See how we go. But now Jack's the only change to the men's team there. Obviously, Aaron T's taking a bit of a break, and Jack was the first cab off the rank to come in. A couple of changes in the women's side, but they're all available on the Bulls New South Wales Facebook and website. So, again, we're not going to dwell on those too much, folks. We'll maybe talk about them nearer the time when they actually get into the test series, but go and have a look. Men's Open, Women's Open, men's over 60s, women's over 60s, men's under 25s, women's under 25s, men's over 40s, women's over 40s, and the all-ability sides. They're all on there, ready to go against Victoria in August, I believe. Anyway, mate, something a bit special this week. You put a bit of a post out last week trying to get a few ideas of what bowlers we could have a chat with. Some good ones out there. So there was. John Green obviously volunteering himself. Barry Lester volunteering himself with you. But there's only one man we could do. Well, there was two possibly, but we couldn't quite get in touch with the GOAT.
We couldn't, no. Alex Marshall.
Kevin Anderson let us down there. Thanks,
he did let us. Big Kev let us down there. We reached out, a couple of contacts to see if we could get Alex Marshall on, but
I think Kevin was a bit jealous. He wants to go on first, so he does. He wants to be the first Scotsman on there, so he maybe didn't help us out. But you couldn't get him. We'll go for one of the next best things. Hang on to his coattails while we can. He's just won 4 Aussie Opens in a row, 7 in total. Aron Sherriff was good enough to sit down with us again this week. He gave me a buzz and says, I'm ready to go, Deeds. So me and him sat down this week and had a bit of a chat. It was a good one. So, just good insight into Aaron as to what he's been up to since retirement. He gave us his own thoughts on the Jackaroo Tour later in the year and who he would be picking for the Commonwealth Games when it comes around next year, or who he thinks should be in the box seat for those positions. We had a chat about Platinum Pennant, what went on there. Because Aaron's played in all three, we talk about Victorian Premier League, we talk about Queensland Premier League, we talk about Platinum Pennant, and of course the big one, Aussie Open. What's still driving him, and he's pretty keen to go 5 in a row, mate. So everyone, hope you enjoy this one. Here's Aron Sherriff coming back for another crack at What a Load of Bulls. All right, folks, welcome back to the one and only Aron Sherriff. Aron, thanks for coming back on, mate.
No worries, DJ. Good to be back.
Yeah, good, mate. So just a few things for you, actually, mate, since our last interview. Simon tells me we've hit 10,000 downloads all up for our podcast, but your 2 episodes have been listened to 30% more than any other.
Wow. Oh, that's good. I'm glad I could hit the audience a little bit with what we spoke about. It was obviously raw and honest and a few surprises thrown in there, but that's what
man, it was
all about,
very, very good, and I've had nothing but positive feedback about it. People, as you said, raw. People loved that part and the fact that you were willing to open up and stuff, mate. And obviously that was leading in from your announcement from retirement. So I suppose start off, how is retirement? How's things going? You're still playing a lot, obviously. You're around the place, but how are you enjoying not being on the Jackaroo at the moment?
It's been good. I haven't really missed it at this point in time, but I suppose with Com Games and some major events coming up, then that feelings may change. But just enjoying a bit more time at home, more time at the club with the members, been able to spend more time with them, developing and coaching those guys, and it's been really good.
You're well entrenched in Broadbeach now, aren't you?
I love the club. We've got a great crew of members, and we've probably had about 30 or 40 new members come in the last couple of years, and all of them are sort of that younger than middle age, and they're hungry and excitable and willing to learn, and that sort of gives me a bit of a kick, and I'm absolutely loving it.
Nice, man. That's good. Good to see you giving back to the sport as well. It's been so good to you. You touched on Com Games there, mate. So that leads into the next question. Recent selections for Jackaroos. It looks like they're heading over to Scotland for a bit of a tour, so no doubt that is in preparation for Com Games in about 12 months' time, I think.
Yeah.
Any thoughts on those selections, mate?
I'm just surprised there's so many. Yeah, I mean, they had a massive camp at Traralgon, where all the squad members went there, and I don't know, I thought they might have culled it a little bit off that. I think they played 19 games in 3 days or something, so I'd imagine they'd have a fair idea as to who was playing well and who wasn't. But then again, obviously UK conditions are a lot different to what we get over here, so I suppose it's probably fair that the entire squad has the opportunity to go over there and show their wares in conditions that are probably more suitable.
A lot of young ones in there too. I suppose there's probably a bit of experience for them, isn't it? Do you think, you've been on the inside, me from the outside looking in, do you reckon maybe 50% of that squad's been told, look, you're coming over just for experience, go and enjoy it? Or do you reckon they're all over there thinking we've got a chance at Commonwealth Games here? Do you think that discussion's been had in the camp?
I highly doubt those sorts of conversations would have been had because they really haven't been in the past.
Yeah.
So I'd say, everyone will be going over there trying to do their best. I'm sure there'd be some players in that squad that are probably thinking, well, I'll go over and have a bit of fun and do well, and probably not a chance of selection potentially, but just go over and soak up the experience. I guess it's like Constas and all those sorts of guys in the cricket. They go away and get part of these tours. Some of the guys never ever play for Australia, but they get a lot of experience out of it. So there'll be a few guys and girls that are sort of in that boat and get out of it what you can.
That's a fair call. Actually, I keep thinking that about Sean Abbott. I can't believe Sean Abbott's never been capped for Australia at Test level. He seems to be there all the time.
Yeah, absolutely. He's always the 12th or 13th man, isn't he?
Yeah, I suppose it's probably different too, because I'm sure in previous events leading into Commonwealth Games, you would have taken a squad of 10 away, 10 girls, 10 boys, and half of that would have made. But the fact that it's only going to be 2 or 3 that actually make it. So what's your thoughts around that with that Commonwealth Games format?
First of all, I think we were extremely lucky to remain in the Commonwealth Games. Mm-hmm. They've halved the amount of sports, I think it is, or they've cut at least 7 or 8 sports. So for bowls to be recognised and still part of that, I think that was a extremely good result for our sport. As far as the format and that's concerned, my opinion on sets play and all that sort of thing is it's just a bit of shits and gigs, and it's for your BPLs and UBCs and those sorts of things. So I don't think we should be playing for Commonwealth gold medals and world championships and major events like that in sets play. The champion of champions, they play 3-5 in sets or something. I think that's ridiculous. If you're playing for world titles and Commonwealth Games gold medals and that, we should be as close to traditional play as possible, because that gives you basically a true outcome. You see sets play, one set's 10-0, the other set you lose by a shot. and then you lose in a tiebreaker. The best team doesn't win that, you know. And as I say, it's exciting and entertaining for television because it keeps obviously people watching on their screens because they never know what's going to happen. But when it comes to those sorts of traditional events, we need to keep it as close to that as possible.
No, I 100% agree with you, mate. As an old head, I'd say the same. Like, it's how can you get a Commonwealth gold medal and not score more shots than your opposition? So I'm with you on that. As you said, we're very blessed to even still be in it. I think me and Simon did an episode on it. There was about 17 sports last time, and they've dropped it down to about 10.
Yeah.
So we're very lucky to be in it. So that was a good take, mate.
We're probably lucky that they were looking for sports where they can use multi-purpose venues. Yeah. So I think Bowls was lucky that it was one of those sports that could tie it in with another sport. Yeah,
definitely. Do you think maybe that's maybe a downside of what the BPL's brought? Because the BPL is so successful. Like, you've played in all of them, haven't you? So it's a great format for TV, as you said. Do you think then they've looked the outside looking in? Maybe it's a UK decision's been made to go, right, that's the one we're going to use for Commonwealth Games, or you think maybe that's been a downside to it?
Oh, yes and no. I mean, the whole point of the BPL was to show off a more exciting and colourful and expansive version of what our sport's about. It was supposed to get new people involved and all that sort of thing. And I guess we've got the same sort of regime in the World Bowls now as there was in the Bowls Australia when the BPL was created. So there's a few similarities there, obviously. But I just don't believe that we should be devaluing our major events off the success of the BPL, which is really just a promotional tool. The players, we love going out there and playing the BPL. It's a great event. The two host clubs have been incredible. All the host clubs have been incredible, and we have a lot of fun with it. We enjoy it.
It's still a club event, but isn't it? Because you're all associated with either an association or a club. It's still a club and association event. You're representing that. You're not out there for individual medals as such.
Nah, yeah, that's right. So I think there's very, very few, if any, franchises that aren't associated with a bowling club or something like that. So I just think the BPL and the UBC have got their place. They're definitely a good promotional tool for our sport, which will encourage other people to take it up and have a bit of fun with it. But when it comes to those traditional events, they need to be respected.
Yeah, go back to cricket, mate. Commonwealth Games, World Championships, pennants. That's your test match.
Absolutely.
T20, which is UBC, BPL, that brings people into the sport, but ultimately everyone should be striving to play that longer format of the game. It shouldn't be touched. But
100%.
Yeah, I suppose their hands were tied. They had to come up with some sort of way to get in there, and they got in, I suppose. So, right on, mate. It's nearly 12 months of retirement, so has the door been knocked at all? Do you want to come back out? Has anybody approached you?
No, I'm not going to be one of those retired. I'm not John Farnham coming back for one last tour. No, I'm happy with my decision.
Yep.
Pardon. There was telling things that I knew it was time, and nothing's changed. Yeah. I enjoy more time at home, not having to travel as much and traveling for things that I enjoy and I want to do.
Yeah. Yeah, cool. Right. Commonwealth Games selections there, mate. You got any thoughts on that? I've been very open on the podcast. Like, I don't see how they cannot take Aaron Wilson in the singles.
Yeah, I think that's a lock. I mean, everyone knows that.
He'd have to be severely out of form.
Yeah, even if he was, it wouldn't matter.
Yeah,
he's going for 3 in a row. It's only been done once, I think. So, yeah, it'd be an injustice not to allow him to do that. As far as the pairs is concerned, if you're using the BPL format and that's what they're going down, who's the best two? Who's the best pair? Who's probably the most successful pair that's been in the BPL?
Tees and Wedlock.
Exactly. I mean, it's a no-brainer. Like, no disrespect to the other players or anything like that, but in that format, on the carpet, they play at Warilla, they play on the carpet 95% of the time there. I think their forest side's the only time they play on their grass greens. And go to the BPL, they've won 5 together, I think it is now. It'd be absolutely ludicrous if they went in the pairs.
Yeah, hard to look past, isn't it? I mean, I think that's a feeling around the traps anyway, and it is only opinions. Nobody's trying to influence anything. Have you been, like, haven't knocked on the door to say come out of retirement? Have they tapped into your experience, mate, to say to come in and talk to the future Jackaroos? Is that something you'd be interested in doing?
Absolutely.
It seems a shame just to let that go. All right, he's retired. All right, right off into the sunset. Go and keep winning whatever you want to win. But surely there's got to be a time, even for like a development, like that development series is up in Broadbeach soon, isn't it?
Is it at Broadbeach? I'm not sure.
Well,
We've had it once before. It might be at Tweedheads, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, but it's in your area, so why wouldn't you be given a captain's role, like a Ryder Cup type thing, to go in one of those sides and give them a bit of experience? Like, to me, that should be being done.
Yeah, well, I suppose there's that many coaches with Bowls Australia now. I suppose they've got a role to play with that sort of thing. But even when I was a part of the Jackaroos, one thing I always thought about, and I love the history of our sport. I love the legends of our sport. And I just don't think that we really tapped into it. I mean, if you asked some of the young guys these days, who's Dennis Dalton, who's Sam Lagutsa, who's Steve Anderson, who's Kevin Walsh, who's Brett Dupre, half of them wouldn't even know who they were, or they'd say, "Oh, Brett Dupre, isn't he the CEO of BCIB?" Yeah. They wouldn't even associate him with bowls, and those guys are absolute legends of our sport. So, who's Keith Poole? The list goes on. I mean,
we had that on the weekend, so we just played number one state pennants, and we were unfortunate enough on our rink to get drawn against Michael Wilkes, Marimbula.
Yep.
We had half these people, even on our team, coming up to Mick Cronin, who were skipping against him, going, "Who's that guy you're playing?"
Yeah,
Michael Wilkes, 80-odd caps for Australia.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I don't think. I know they've got a Hall of Fame and all that sort of stuff, but I just don't think the legends of our sport are celebrated enough.
Yep.
You look at the NRL, AFL, all those sorts of sports. Even like State of Origin, obviously coming up. They've got the New South Wales boys, the old boys club, and they all get together and they all have a bit of fun and talk to the new guys and their experiences in what it means to play for New South Wales and
jersey presentations to be able to get your jersey off a legend like that, things like that.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I mean that stuff's special. That's the history. That's what it means. To wear the Australian colours, to wear the blues, whatever it is, doesn't matter. But I was a lover of the history of our sport. I don't think that love for the history of our sport is glorified enough at the moment.
Yeah, there's too much self-interest at times around the game, isn't there? I find it. Anyway.
Yeah, it's that instant gratification thing everyone wants at the moment, isn't it? So
yeah, absolutely.
They throw the goat term around too quickly.
Yeah, it does. But there was a podcast last year, did a very good episode, or a couple of episodes on that, so you should go back and listen to that one.
I will.
But you're right. Mate, you're all still playing. You're playing at a very high level. BPLs, UBCs, Queensland Premier League, and of course recently, first win for Maryland's in the New South Wales Platinum Pennant. You were part of that, mate. Just talk us through that event. For those that haven't listened, you guys were minor premiers. 10 in a row, got to round 11, fell over there, went into the grand final qualifier, fell over there, but was able to regroup. So you've gone 10 in a row, lost 2 in a row, but you're able to regroup and then get over Warilla in the final, mate. So just talk us through that event for Maryland's. That's your second year with Maryland's?
Yeah, so after the first year, to their credit, to his credit, Gareth, our chairman at the club, come and spoke to Lurch and I, made sure that we were keen to come back and asked us if there was anything that we could improve. Obviously, I thought we were a solid team, but not probably just a couple of players short. So in 12 months, they went and got Fergo, Mason, Sam, Nerona, Nat, quite a few players into the squad. And the beauty of it was that they'd been there before or they had an association with the club before. So it was just a seamless fit. Basically, from game one, we come down. Lurch and I were excited with the signings they had, so we were keen as mustard to get down there. And it was a great club. We enjoyed our first year. We had an absolute ball. We loved it. It's just that we didn't get the results that we were after. So, so we just instantly clicked. Yeah, the team played well. We had some hiccups, but I just think that through past experiences and knowing what the team was like, knowing the people that were involved in it, every time we got into a pickle, we got out of it. It wasn't. Team talks were usually just waffle. They were just mucking around, having fun, keeping it lighthearted. Yeah, we just played for one another. And the beauty of it was that having Gareth as our chairman of the club, and even our CEO, he turned up to quite a few games this year, and just looking over and seeing them actually invested in what we were doing there at Maryland's. It was really exciting. So, naturally had the little hiccup with Cabra, but I mean, they're solid side. They probably had a little bit more to play for than what we did, obviously having to win that game to get in. And then, playing Warilla, I guess that night there might have been a couple of their members that may have said to them a couple of things that they may regret in the long run. They played extremely well, deserved the win. We got back out there, played the way we play, and dusted Cabra. And then, those comments the night before come back to bite a few of them on the arse, so to speak. So we were highly motivated. We were extremely confident. We knew we had the team to win it, and fortunately we got the job done.
From the outside looking in, man, I think I mentioned this because I was down doing the commentary. The first 10 rounds, you didn't blitz it, but you just went and won the first 10 games, right? Close games, you just got over the line, you just won things, right? Round 11 was a penalty kick. So it was a free hit. It didn't matter what you said. As you said, Cabramatta had everything to lose. They had a home final series. They had a home magic round. If they lost that game, they were all but done. Mm-hmm. So you were up a good bit, and then they came back and got over you in the end. That's fair enough. But you had that safety net.
Yep.
You still had that safety net playing with Rillo the first night. The first time you played them, they got over you again. Again, you had a bit of a lead, and then they came back. You and Corey had an epic on the TV ring. And then take the safety net away Saturday morning. You go out and you absolutely give it to Cabramatta. And then turn around. And although it was good from a comedy point of view and watching the final, like we were blessed with the final last year. The way that finish was unreal. We would have loved to see that again from a neutral point of view. Well, and we did get to the last end, but you guys just had control the whole time, didn't you? It's like they were chasing shots towards the end. It was just take the safety net away and you're a different team nearly.
Yeah, and I guess that was the beauty of our 10 wins. It wasn't easy. I mean, we were at Warilla. I think we were 18 behind with about 20 ends to go, 25 ends to go, and we got them pretty comfortably in the end. We had tight games with most of the teams. I mean, we didn't have many blowouts, so to speak. So, we knew when the going got tough, then we were sort of seasoned to get tough with it. So, it's just a great crew, great bunch of people, awesome club atmosphere. Plenty of members coming around and that. And, we just, Lurch and I would get off a flight and walk in. And as soon as we walk in, the members, hey guys, how you going? Good luck tonight. Da, 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 da. So they were invested in it too. So it just felt comfortable. It was awesome.
Well, big talent side of that was Lurch bringing the young fella down for the finals. You don't drag the young fella down from the Gold Coast unless you feel comfortable in your surroundings and you're part of a club type of thing. So I thought that was a talent sign as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And Levi's invested in the game now. I think he's just made the Queensland junior squad or something. And
nice.
Yeah, it was a great opportunity for him to now see what Dad's all about, see what Platinum Pennant's all about. And I guess it was just a good thing for him to come down. Probably kept Lurch, even though he's as cool as ice. It probably just relaxed him a little bit. Have his son there too, and it was just a great weekend. It was all good.
Yeah, good. Was it right? So after the loss against Warilla, as you said, it was a little bit fiery that game. We're not going into too much detail. we were both there. We've all seen it.
That's right. Yeah.
Was there much of a team talk that night, or was it individual rinks getting together, or was it just a couple of individuals saying, "Right out, we go again tomorrow"?
Yeah, we had a little chat afterwards. Some of the senior players just talked about certain things, and we made one little switch. Yeah, it was nothing personal. We just thought it would benefit the team. I mean, as it turned out, it obviously did. But that I guess when you have people that make comments and make fools of themselves, the worst thing you can do is actually get angry and try to use that in a aggressive way. And I think that's what happened to us that night.
Yeah.
Or to a few of us, sorry. So the message was, if we get through the Cabra game and we get to the final, best way to rub it in is to beat them and have the photo with the flag and walk away with the championship. So I think suck eggs.
Good on you. Platinum Pennant, mate. Queensland Premier League didn't quite go the way Broadbeach would have won. I think you were chasing 3 in a row, was it? You had 2 in a row and you were going for the third in a row. And didn't quite go that way. But you're also Deer Park. You play the Victorian one, mate. Can you give me a rundown? What's the difference between the 3 events? Is there one that stands out above the other? Is there something the 3 should maybe be doing together in order to benefit the game? Like, what's your thoughts on the 3?
All 3 are unique. All 3 are extremely competitive, high quality. And yeah, I love all of them. I mean, I took 12 months off from Deer Park and sort of didn't miss it so much. Missed a few people, obviously, but then once I was watching them on the live stream of the finals and that, I was like, oh my God, I want to be there.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just thrive that. I just need that competitive juices. That I just thrive that sort of stuff. So the one thing that I think, I was informed that they were all talking, but then obviously things were done a little bit backhanded. But the three states need to get together. They need to sit down. They need to nut it out so that they all work together, so that they can get the best possible product for all three events. So whether that's, Queensland moving to July and August, whether that's Bowls New South Wales doing their thing. I mean, Victoria have had the same pennant dates since Jesus was playing 5/8 for Jerusalem, so I think we can't really tinker with that, and with the length of their event, it's too hard to move it or manipulate it. But yeah, I just think that if we're feeding them, and a lot of the players don't have an opportunity to earn a lot of money.
No.
But as marquee players in these events, they get an opportunity to earn a little bit more money. So to clash dates or to be stubborn and sit on your hands and just go, well, this is where we've been the whole time, that's it, or this is where we're going and bad luck for everyone else and all that sort of stuff. It's just a selfish, egotistical sort of way of thinking.
Hang on. Yeah, it's just ego, isn't it? Like we said that on the podcast too. The way the reaction, you've seen the reaction from the New South Wales when they first announced the platinum things. We said it, like it was just that basically just from the outside looking in, look at them just flexing and going, we're just going to do our thing. We're the big state. We'll do what we want. Luckily, common sense has prevailed and there's been a move there.
Yeah. And, I think, like you said, common sense prevailed. However, I think, like, even looking at our Queensland structure here, we play our Premier League at the worst time of the year.
Yeah.
It's virtually school holidays. Greens are in renovation. It's the hottest, stinkiest, steamiest, bloody time of the year up here. February, March is horrific.
Yeah.
But then in July, August, we play pennant, which realistically in Queensland's an afterthought. It's not, it's all about the Premier League and all that sort of thing. Well, why not try and follow the New South Wales structure and what Victoria have done? And in July and August, we have a platinum pennant, and then we have the Division 1 and all that. Like, I know it's probably a bit harsh, but realistically, if you're not from the Gold Coast, if you're not Pine Rivers or you're not Ipalabar or something like that, you cannot win the state pennant in Queensland.
Yeah, okay.
And our country teams, they travel so far, they spend a fortune. A lot of their clubs can't afford to help them out, so they're doing it all on their own, and they're on a hiding to nothing, So if we take our best clubs and put them in platinum at that time, so to speak, or Premier League, whatever we want to call it,
yep.
And then those clubs, their Division 1 side then becomes the Division 2, so to speak. I think it just levels the playing field a little bit for those country sides that are coming out.
Yep.
And it doesn't clash with New South Wales or Victoria. And the players get an opportunity to make a little bit of extra earn on the side. And all three events then have the best of the best playing in their events. So, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, and I'm only a bowler, but it's really a no-brainer. Like, if we move to July, August, we've got best weather, best greens, then New South Wales can stay in their April, May window, and it doesn't impact Victoria either. All three can get along, and the players get a little bit of benefit out of that.
Imagine all associations getting along together. But they've all got their own challenges, as you said. Like us looking at Victoria, we go, why on earth are they playing 4 rinks? Why on earth are they playing that format and that length of time? But that's what they're used to. That's been around since they started playing, and they've gradually just developed that to be their Premier League.
Yeah.
New South Wales Platinum Pennant, they needed an elite competition. Similar to what you said, it's brought the country teams back into Grade 1. The Cornwall just won Grade 1 on the weekend.
That's right.
No, they wouldn't have had a chance if all those other sides were still back in that playing. So although they're not, and I like the fact that they're not played side by side, because the elite competition needs to be set. There needs to be some sort of a difference so as we can watch it. and be involved in it. I suppose the battle with Queensland is, but Queensland Premier League's not a Bulls Queensland event, is it? It's a separate event. The clubs run it. Maybe that's where is there an appetite up there to Bulls Queensland take it over and put it into their calendar?
Oh, I don't know that there's an appetite for them to take over, but I know that but from little whispers I hear, they're quite interested in the idea of it, moving to that sort of scenario.
Yep.
There's a little bit of a power play coming on up in Queensland also, where the old Super Challenge, I think they've rebranded it or something, but they're going to run it at the same time as Premier League, or the dates that Premier League run in. They've got some pretty decent sponsorship, good prize money. Yeah, so I mean, again, does Queensland Premier League be stubborn and go, nah, these are our dates and bad luck? Or do we say, okay, you guys can run your event in the hottest time of the year when the greens are renovated and they're the slowest, and you can have that, and we'll just move ours to the best time of the year when the greens are running their best, and we'll have the best product. So, yeah, again, it's common sense over ego, I guess.
Yeah, good. Yeah, interesting to see how it develops for the next couple of years, because it's needed. As you said, it's needed for so many reasons. One, to promote the sport by the elite playing. But in order to promote the sport and have the elite playing in all those competitions, they need to work together.
Absolutely.
It's like if you've got the ability to go and play in 3 of them, absolutely, you're right. There's not enough money in just clubland for all the elite players to go and make their cash. Nah. They're good enough to go and do it, because like we keep going back to it too. Nobody gives credit to the amount of traveling you guys have to do to be able to do that, and the time away from family and the time away from other stuff. So yeah, I'm all for that type of stuff happening. So hopefully, it develops that way. It's interesting to hear what's happening up in Queensland too. Maybe we don't get a lot of that, so it's interesting to see how that's going.
Yeah, well, I guess look, like our standard weekend going to Marylands would be, if it was a triple header, I'll work Monday to Friday. Friday I'll start at 5 a.m. I'll knock off about 9:30, drive straight to the airport, be on a plane about 12:30, 1 o'clock, land in Sydney, straight to the venue, get changed, play a game 6 o'clock till whenever, play again Saturday, play again Sunday, fly home Sunday night, back at work 5 o'clock on Monday morning. And that was basically how the whole cycle worked. So
on the Sunday wasn't necessarily a morning game either. They tried to stagger them a bit. So if you got one of those unlucky ones that you were started at 3 or 4 in the afternoon, what time you're home.
I had a couple of say like 4:40 or 5:40 flights from Sydney, so it lands 6:30, 7 o'clock. By the time we all, depend on Lurch and I, you're probably home about 8:30, something like that.
Yeah.
Man, back up at 4:15 the next morning to go back to work. So yeah, it's not all Skittles and rainbows, but if we're all happy to do that, if we're given the opportunity to make a little extra money and make life easier for our families, and even for these young ones in tough times to try and set themselves up. So yeah, I just think it's time that I know the authorities of the sport think they know best, but maybe it's time that some of them start listening to the senior players and trying to work out what is best.
100%. The guys that are actually playing and doing the job. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, mate, moving on a bit. So I don't know if you're aware, but we're raising the bat this week. This is our 50th episode. So we're going to piggyback off you to try and get some more listeners. And why not do it now after the Australian Open's just finished? And for those that don't know, Aron won the men's singles again. Mate, seven in total, 4 in a row. What is going on inside your head when you get to the Australian Open? Because I texted you before the event. You're playing the lead-up events. It's the Matador 4s and the pairs at Broadbeach. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I'm playing as bad as I did last year. Probably get on me. That's basically what you said. And then, you just sort of, built up through the competition, and here we are, 4 in a row. Talk me through it.
Yeah, I've always had a bit of a love-hate relationship with singles. I mean, I suppose throughout my entire career, and especially my representative career, I've always sort of been pigeonholed as a 2-ball player. Yeah. And I've had, small opportunities to play singles for Australia and whatever. But as soon as I got a silver or bronze, it was like, on to the next one, and you're back in the team events. So I guess with that, I sort of fell out of love with singles and had not a lot of interest in it. So, but since the Australian Open has moved we'd had to move away from Darebin to get it kick started. The first time was in Shepparton in 2010. Yeah, enjoyed it. Cess play, again, not my cup of tea, but sort of was happy to get the win there and that. But since it's moved to the Gold Coast, I don't know, the greens are just so good. The conditions are lovely. And being 21 up now instead of sets play, in my mind, I know that the best player will win that game because it's 2-something.
Yeah.
And as we touched on earlier, when it was sets play, like, you win the first set 15-1 and then get a couple of lucky results against you and whatnot, and then you're in a tiebreaker and bang, you're gone. And it's just like, what's the point? Why bother? I'm 22-9 in front and I've been beat. Like, it's just, yeah. So anyway, I was sort of like just a bit disenchanted with singles and things. And as I said, since it come up to the Gold Coast, I don't know, I just feel really comfortable up here. I guess it helps that Broadbeach is my own club. That's where the finals are. Got a lot of great support. Sleep in my own bed every night.
Yeah.
Go to work in the morning before I play. So that keeps things real. Not much really changes. So it's just the same old routine every day. Get up and go to work. Work out how much time I need to get whatever venue I go to, and away I go. So probably the event that's as close to everyday life for me. So it's not like a massive change. And yeah, I don't know. It's weird. I can't really explain it, but once I get through my section, I just feel like I can win it.
Yeah. Well, I was about to ask you, what point do you get to go, I can win this again?
So once I get through the section, because that's probably where I might be slightly complacent, or, as I say, at the start of the event, I'm usually battling because I'll sacrifice the Queensland Championships the last couple of years to focus on the AO.
Yep.
Because if I played the Queensland Championships, that's 2 weeks of lead up, get about 2, 3, 4 days off, and then go in the Matador and the Blue Dom and the Matador fours, and then it's straight in the AO. So basically be 5 weeks straight with about 2 or 3 days off. And that's just not doable. No one in their right mind can do that and do it well.
No.
Yeah, so I'll sacrifice that, and that sort of gives me generally about, 3 or 4 weeks off where I try not to touch a bowl, don't really do much. And then, obviously the events into the AO, our events are, as much as I'd love to win them, they're more of a competitive boost for me. So it just gets the juices flowing, gets a bit of rhythm, hopefully, that sort of thing. So yeah, generally sectional play in the singles for me is probably the hardest thing for me to do because, I'm still a bit not fully switched on, not fully into sync with my rhythm and body and whatever's going on. So, and I think I touched on it in the semi-final where, I think Val asked me about when you're playing against people, like, do you worry about certain things? And I just sort of described it as playing against a mannequin because, now singles, it's just me playing against me. So I don't really worry about my position, so to speak. I'll stick to my routine and stick to my process, and I know what I do well and how I get to 21 faster than the opposition. So
yeah. And singles is such a unique game compared to your team sports. Like you said, you've been pigeonholed in the past of 2-ball skip or whatever, right? When was the last time you played singles before you step onto the Aussie Open field?
I probably only play club singles between then.
Yeah.
I might have had a game of club singles in about March, April.
Yeah. So you got to take that into account too. So you got to build into it. It's not like you're walking in there straight away going, I can't. Well, you can win it, but you're not in there going, this is my year type of thing. So you got to build into that, I suppose, too.
Yeah, 100%. And I mean, probably when I was younger and a bit more hungry and whatnot, I'd actually probably roll up and do some sort of singles process, whether it's Jack and 2 bowl or grouping drill or I don't know, something along those lines. So it was all sort of single specific stuff where, now I need to get away, recharge the batteries in the mind, especially after the platinum stuff. Like, that was obviously fairly intense, the finals weekend.
It's a big weekend.
Was that we had that 2-week break before that. So that gave me time to freshen up. The AO, I know it's a long, arduous, tough event. So the fresher I can go in there and just sort of back myself to be able to fumble my way through sectional play And then once I get through that, then it's game on and it's go time.
Yeah. What issue have you got with Cohen lifting, mate? That's not fair what you've done the last 2 years. Talk about the semi-final for anyone that doesn't know what I'm talking about.
It was Paul Bugger. I mean, he's such a great kid. He reminds me of Lurch. He's got a great attitude. He's such a quality player. And I know that it's going to be a tough game, you know. I thought I was in control in both those, the final and the semi-final, and he dug deep.
Doesn't go away.
Doesn't go away. He always fights. You know, I think I got a lot of respect for that. Yeah, he gave me too much room the first time. And then this time it wasn't a Hail Mary as such, but obviously I was aiming for the other side of the bowl. Once I knew I had a piece of the bowl, I was like, oh, beauty, I've sort of flicked it off. It's 20 all and I'll have last bowl and I can do whatever I've got to do. Mm. But then, the biggest shock was I got the other one as well.
Oh, the other one.
Yeah, and I hadn't really anticipated that. So it was just...
Fair enough. I was going to talk about that because we talked about that on because we were doing a recap of it on the last episode, and then I spoke to you after a few Facebook comments.
Yeah.
But people just don't seem to understand. It was good to hear you say that because I was going to put on you and ask you what were you actually aiming for, because the way I was looking at that, you're always trying to keep it simple. To me, you're looking at that going, righto, if I miss this, I'm going. So I just want to hit that ball. If you get the two, it's a bonus. So you just said that was a bonus. You're aiming the other side. If you miss the other side wide, you probably get the second one, you take it away. You touch that ball at all, you're getting a result. Yeah. You're either getting it out clean, you're getting it on the jack, which might kill, might get you shot, or you got the result that you got. But realistically, people are looking at you hitting that ball. That ball was probably nearly 2 balls wide. Because that's the target you're aiming into, really, if you think about it, isn't it? You're not aiming for an exact speckle on that ball to say, I need to hit that.
Yeah, no, that's right. And I mean, I suppose that's where sometimes with social media, you got to bite your tongue and not get engaged with it because they don't think the way that we think. So, and I appreciate that. I mean, it's taken me 30 years to think the way I think in this game. So I don't expect someone that's just taken the sport up, that's watching it for the first time or thinks they know everything about the sport and loves to comment on social media. I don't expect them to know what I'm thinking because they wouldn't have a clue. So, as you said, objective 1, hit the right side of the bowl, get the 2 bowls out clean. That's a perfect result. Objective 2, hit the middle of the bowl, kill it off and hope I rush something through to the respot. Objective 3, flick it off, and if I don't get the other one, well, then I've got another end to play. So I was never going to draw that shot.
It's percentages.
It was too close. And you got to play the percentages. I mean, my forehand runner was basically keeping me in the game early. I knew I was stroking it well. I knew I was a big chance of hitting it, and that's the only shot I had to play. So, yes, did I get a maximum result? 100%. Was I lucky? No, because I hit the target I was going for.
Exactly.
I just got the maximum result. So, was it exactly what I was going for? Absolutely not. But I hit the ball I was aiming for. I got the maximum result. End of story.
But unless it's a do or die, unless it's a maximum result, you're not aiming for the maximum thing. As you said, you're aiming for that ball. You got to keep it simple. You got to cut it down to look at the percentage going, what can I get if I play this hand or play that hand or play this shot? So that's what it came down to. So, yeah. Anyway, so you've broke Cohen's heart for the second year in a row. We're into the final now. Mate, at what stage throughout the competition did you start, 4 in a row obviously was already on your mind, but at what point of the competition did you start thinking this is a realistic prospect now, I reckon I'm going to go?
Be careful how I answer this because I don't want to disrespect anyone because they're at that stage of the event and they deserve to be there.
No, in 4 in a row, I think you've disrespected enough, mate.
So, at Paradise Point in the round of 16, Peasy lost, Disco lost, Trainer lost, Ray Pierce lost, and I sort of got through. But it was some young quality that had beaten those guys as well. So on paper, those 4 guys are probably favourites in their matches potentially. But 4 quality young guys knocked them off. And then there was this old fella here just still hanging around. And I just thought that, okay, if I look at my little section, probably the most experienced, obviously the most comfortable in this scenario, I probably won't have nerves. I'll be excited and anxious to get out there and play, but yeah, I guess at that point I thought to myself, all right, well, if I knuckle down here and I do what I do and don't get carried away, then yeah, there's another title available here. So I suppose that was probably the point where I thought, okay, maybe I'm a chance of knocking a fourth.
Nice. So we get in the final against Nathan. He hasn't been there in, 6 years or something it was since he last played it? Previous winner.
Oh, yeah.
Not nobody.
No, absolutely not.
Fantastic player. As you said, he's taking a bit of time away to go and start a family. Not enough to do it at times. But yeah, Good on him. And then he's decided to come up for a bit of a holiday with a wife and kid and decided, I'll just play a bit of bowls and gets to the final to face you going for number 4. Him going for 4 in a row, number 7. And him going for 2. So what was the lead up to that final like, mate? Bit of an anxious day that day. I think the ladies' pairs went on a bit longer than expected as well, didn't it? Sort of pushed you back a bit.
Yeah. Yeah, we seemed to get through all of those pairs quite comfortably in 2 hours and 15 minutes, but that one went for 3.5 hours. So, it was pretty tough to sort of have an idea in your mind to, okay, this is going to be our start time, but then, obviously extra ends and whatnot sort of pushed it back a little bit further. But, I guess having that experience of being there before and knowing that they give you a start time, but generally speaking, it's nowhere near that time. So just kept it as real as possible when dropped the kids at school, went out for brekkie with Amanda, come home. Yeah, I had a bit of a back issue throughout the whole event. So just come home, do a bit of recovery, warm that up, get the clothes organised, get everything set up. We picked the kids up from school, headed in, went inside the club, and I was like, I might just go in and say good day and see who's there. And Lurchy was there, and just had a beer with him just to sort of relax and chill out. And then, got sort of not harassed, but just sort of got bombarded by a couple of people. And I was like, Lurch, I've got to go, man. I'm so sorry. I'd love to stay here with you, but I just got to go and just do my head in. So always take the headphones with me just in case. I don't always use them.
Yeah.
But, this day with the delay in play and with everything that was going on, I just, headphones in, scroll through some music, random stuff, nothing really cohesive, or I don't have a playlist to it. It's just like, that's right, I don't mind that song, I'll put that on sort of thing. So, and then go around the other side of the grandstand because, not a lot of access there for general public.
Yeah.
Have a bit of a stretch, just muck around, bit of a dance sort of thing, just try and keep it as real as possible and forget about what is actually going to happen. Once I realised they're an extra, and I sort of kept a little eye on that. Sometimes there's the little vantage points where you can just go in and have a look at what a hand's doing or the pace of the green, or just sort of try and get a feel or a vibe for it. So I always like to do that out of view as much as possible so that, I can just stay within myself. And, that was sort of it. Yeah, once I got into the game, it's just, I guess that rink 24, Broadbeach, green 4, is sort of my happy place. I roll that green, cut that green, I spend a lot of time on that green. And once the stands are up and it's all set up for the Australian Open, that's the goal, isn't it? Play the last game of the event.
That's it. How much thought did you give to Nathan going into the final, or was it all about you? Your game?
A lot.
Yeah.
No, a lot, because he played brilliant against Corey in the semi-final. I mean, we all know Corey Wedlock. You have to play green against him to beat him. So,
and he was in the pairs final, so he was going well in the whole competition. It's not like he was just out of form. So
Nathan was outstanding. And previous winner, a eccentric character, so I knew that he wouldn't be overawed by the whole situation. He's pretty loose unit, a great attacking game, a good draw game. Yeah, so I knew enough about him, seen enough of him to know that he was a dangerous opponent. And, it was just once I assessed all that, work out a game plan, try and execute as best I can. Like I say, generally singles is all about you playing what you're good at and executing it the best you can. So that was basically the game plan. It's pretty simple. Yeah.
Yeah, nice. And then obviously, as you're getting closer and closer to that 21, any nerves at all, or was it just business as usual?
Not anymore. I mean, I used to. When I was younger, I used to, the worst number in the world was 17 or 21 when you're playing a 25, or 67 when you're playing a 31 because you're 4 away. And I got trapped a few times when I was younger trying to be a hero and, make a 4 and whatever. But believe it or not, after 30 years of bowls, you do learn things. You do get smarter and you mature a little bit, on the bowling green. So when I get to that number or that sort of area now, it's just like, okay, 1 and then for the next 3 and 4 and 5, whatever it is, so that's my mentality now. It's just one at a time. Where I wanted to get off the green as quickly as possible when I was playing singles, now I'm happy to stay out there for as long as it takes. So,
that's what you need. You need better patience when it comes to singles.
That's right. And that's probably the biggest mindset shift that I've had in singles is, you're not going to beat everyone 21, 3 or 4 and be done in 45 minutes. Sometimes you've got to suck it up and win dirty.
Yeah, so that's an interesting one there, mate. So for those listening, how dialed in are you to that? Are you envisaging lifting that trophy at all during that game? Or have you just, no, I'm getting through to 21 and then I'll think about it?
Yeah, no, I don't,
Don't look ahead?
No, doesn't even consider. Yeah, it doesn't even enter my mind, to be honest.
Yeah.
I mean, I know what's going to come if I get to 21 first. So that's exciting. That's motivating. Amanda and I have got a bit of a running joke at the moment because we've got the singles trophy in a position in the house
under the TV again.
Under the TV again. And after we won the first one, Amanda's like, "Oh, I really like that there. It's a shame it's got to go." I said, "Don't worry about it. It'll be back in 6 weeks." And she laughed, and anyway, it was back. And then last year, same thing. Oh, I said, "It's all good, mate. Don't worry about it. It'll be back in 6 weeks. It's fine. Andrew's just got to engrave it again, and it's all good." So it's just a bit of a running joke that we have, and probably keeps it lighthearted. And
I was going to say it's a good mindset for you to have, and it just sort of makes it a bit relaxed for you. And go, let's go. It's got to take my ornament from home out here for a couple of weeks, and then bring it straight back.
Well, that's right. Everyone gets annual leave, and that trophy gets annual leave for 6 weeks before I get it again. So I mean, that's basically in a stupid dickhead kind of mode. That's sort of what I think about it, So, it's just, I guess it's just Amanda and I with a bit of banter and having a bit of fun and takes the pressure off actually winning the Australian Open again, before I have to worry about doing it again.
Yeah, jeepers. 5 in a row?
Yep.
Still motivated for it?
100%. Oh, you should start next week.
Yeah, nice. Well, nobody else does, mate, because you're obviously in form. It wouldn't be fair.
Only for 2 weeks a year, mate.
Unbelievable, man. No, it is, I can't see that being equal, let alone beating me. That is a phenomenal record that you have, and obviously very proud of it too. But yeah, I mean, just fantastic to watch. Not trying to be rude or anything. I watched most of the game. Would you say you said about winning dirty? It was a bit of a scrappier game than last year against Cohen, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. I mean, I guess it was. Finals are always hit and miss. Generally speaking, semi-finals are like epics because you're trying to get there, and once you're there, sometimes it's just a bit of a okay, let's get down and dirty. It doesn't have to be pretty. Let's just get the job done.
Get the win.
And I guess with the shadows and the later start and all that sort of stuff, there was a few little things that changed, and going away into the sunlight ran a little bit quicker than coming back into the shadows. And there was just a couple of little finicky things just with the shadows and the wind and different stuff. So generally rink plays pretty similar, but it was just a little bit different this time, probably with the later start. So naturally there are some nerves and that in a final, I mean, it's Australian Open. You start as one of 1,300 or something. So
1,300.
It's kind of a big deal. So obviously it wasn't your glamour final, but it just shows that it doesn't matter what level you're at. When you get to that stage, sometimes things don't go to plan, but whoever controls the scenario best will come out on top.
But the big bowls were played when they needed to be played. So Sam talked about last week about that particular game was, it wasn't, you weren't drawn to within 6 inches with every single bowl and just seeing who got it with the last bowl. It was when a big bowl needed to be played, you either drew it, or in the last one in particular where you sat the bowl out for whatever it was to get you to 21, big bowls needed to be played, and that's when they were played. That's the difference of a champion. I suppose it doesn't matter how bad you're playing at the time, or you're maybe not dialed in exactly. You can still play when it needs to be played. Yeah,
well, one of my mottos is quality, not quantity sometimes,
100%.
So when things aren't 100% kosher and you're not really in fantastic form, sometimes it's more important about when you're playing rather than how often you're playing.
Yeah. You mentioned the 1,300 plus entrants there, mate. There's a lot made about the facts and the figures of the tournament. How aware of the amount of days were you before they started spooking about that? How aware of you of those actual numbers when you last got beat, your average and stuff? Are you aware of any of that, or is it just come out from Bulls Australia?
No, so the first time I sort of had any idea about the number of days is when they first put a post out about being in the section and all that sort of stuff. So I had no really, I don't have a calendar here that counts.
Yeah, it's just Iron Man's undefeated. Yeah.
But after the event, when they put that article together and had, I grew up watching Roger Federer. He's probably one of my idols, like just the way he goes about his business. And I know his Wimbledon record and all that. And just think that in my sport, I've won 45 and he only ever won 40 at Wimbledon. And Rafa's Roland Garros record is out of this world.
Yeah.
He had 39 and, those sorts of numbers start to, it's pretty cool. And then there's been 20 events and I've won more than a third of them.
Yep.
I'm a massive I'm a massive WWE fan.
Yep.
I love the wrestling. And Roman Reigns just had a title reign for like 1,300 and something days or whatever it was. Well, he used to have a phrase, acknowledge me. I'm the head of the table. Well, unfortunately, Roman, I'm now the head of the table. So,
brilliant.
So there's just like, little things like that it's just funny. Like, it's just incredible to read that, to listen to it. I did a thing with Val and he sort of spoken back to me. And those sorts of numbers are probably more humbling than the figure of 4 or 7 or whatever. Like, just the longevity of it all and what.
Mate, the average shots got me. You're winning your games across 45, 21 to 9.84.
Yeah.
Like, your opponents aren't even hitting double figures in your average.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
You're always selling that. Pretty cool.
Well, I know, but
stop being humble, mate. You just won 7 Australian Opens at 4 in a row. Stop being humble about it.
Yeah, I know, but that's sort of who I am. You know what I'm like. I often take the piss out of myself, or I might say something a bit smart or cheeky and whatever. But realistically, ever since I started, I've always had people that would pull me back into line if I ever got out of line. Yeah, so that's sort of probably why.
Yeah, well, we did talk about it on the last episode, didn't we? You had some pretty fair mentors coming up that didn't take much rubbish out of people.
No, that's right, and that's probably why. I respect my opponents. And when I say I'm playing a mannequin, it's not disrespectful. It's just my mentality, so that in case I am playing a friend of mine, that I don't get caught up in that whole friendship thing, And I know people that have been flawed by that sort of scenario, and that's all that's about. So, look, I'm extremely proud. Probably the best part about it is that my kids are now old enough to witness what we're going through. Having them on the sideline, Connor normally would be out the back kicking the footy or mucking around, but he said, and watch the whole game. Zoe's, I think she's watched every final I've been involved in out of this 4. So that kind of stuff just means the world to me. So those figures and the numbers and the enormity of it all, I don't really think it would have that same impact or the punch if I didn't have the kids and the man there.
Didn't have them living it with you type of thing.
Yeah,
Zoe must be pushing you on, mate, because she's gone pretty well with the sport too.
Yeah, I know. And you know what the funniest thing is? So many people say to me, "Oh, you're going to be the second most successful athlete in your family," and I'm like, I bloody hope so.
You hope so. You want the best for your kids, don't you?
Exactly. I couldn't give two shits. I really, really cannot wait. Hopefully, in the future, I'll happily carry her bags and go watch an Ashes series over in England and drink pints and have a ball and clap her when she takes a 5 or whatever she does. Yeah, like that would be the highlight of my life. Everything I've done in my sport would be insignificant compared to something like that. So for those people out there who think they're cracking jokes and taking the piss out of me, barking the wrong tree, boys.
Yeah, definitely, man. You always want best for your kids. So what's next now for Broadbeach, mate? Is there going to be a bronze Aron Sherriff statue at the front? Is the rink or that green just going to be named after you? There's got to be something, mate. You can't go away with that record and not have something named after you. Do you want me to start the petition?
Nah. Oh, look, yeah. I just think Broadbeach, it's that club sort of reinvigorated my career to a certain extent. So, when I retired, I was a bit like, I suppose I held off on the decision for quite some time because I thought, oh, how would the club react? How would the members react? And and it sort of, I was a bit anxious, a bit concerned about how that would work. But as soon as I made the announcement, it was just like, so we're going to get to see you more. Like,
exactly.
I'll be around more. So it just lightened the mood straight away. And the crowd at Broadbeach on Friday, inside was packed. Nearly every TV other than the races was on.
Yeah,
watching me play. The stands were packed.
The deck out the back was packed. It was all
everything was just absolutely chock-a-block, and it was to watch me try and win. So I mean, how can you not love or be in love or fall in love with a club like that? It's just insane. So it was probably harder for Nathan and me. I'd play a bowl, and with the delay on the TV, he'd be on the mat about to play, and you can hear him inside, so that 5-second delay over it was. So you get the double banger sort of thing. So I know that the club's proud of me, and that excites me. The AO, obviously that's a personal thing, but it's nice to share with the club. But for me, the best thing to do is start winning some flags again. So got pennant starting in this weekend. We finally got a draw for it, even 3 days before the event starts. So that was really good. It's tip top. So pennant season starts this weekend. Just looking forward to getting involved with that.
The Nugget coming up soon too, don't you?
Yeah. Well, the old Triple Crown's back on, so the Nugget coming up. Hopefully, I can perform better than last year there, and then obviously.
I didn't want to say. I'm happy you did.
Yeah. Well, see,
still, there was probably a bit of a hangover from last year, because last year was massive.
Yeah, well, I don't know if I touched on it the last podcast, but this decision about retiring and everything was really then.
Yeah,
I wasn't in a real good headspace in that event, and I was just thankful that my past results got me an invite back, because I wasn't even sure if I'd get an invite back. So, so I owe it to that event and to Turles and the board at Tweed to have a bit of a better crack this year. So, we go and rejuvenated, refreshed, happy, in a good headspace, and try and knock off the Shrunger. Yeah,
nice. And what's after that, mate? Have you got much else targeted in the next sort of 6 months or so up to Christmas, or is it a bit of a
no, it's hectic, crazy. So I've retired, but just playing more. I've got the Nugget goes into the indoor, and then we got BPLs. Head back down to Tassie for the Mad Dog singles to defend the title there. I think winning the Australian Open this year again will get me into the top 12. This new World Series singles something. It's a Club Barham or something. We haven't really got much information on that yet, but I'm sure it'll come out soon. UBC for Broadbeach this time. No more Exodus, unfortunately. We've had to part ways now that Broadie got a team, but looking forward to that. That's really exciting.
That Exodus team wasn't fair, I'll be honest with you. It's not fair.
Yeah.
Leroy and Bosie. That's probably good for the competition.
Yeah. Well, I guess that we sort of built that up. Tiny Brett Tynan was our man for Exodus, and he put a lot of time and effort and put a lot of trust in me, really, to sort of build that team. And it was really, really good to play and win for him and that sort of thing. But I've had to have the phone call say that now Broadie got a team in there. Last year was going to be my last year, and I guess that was a lot of the point of getting Leroy in there last year, so that the transition of me out, he had Bousey and Leroy there that can keep the franchise going, and they obviously play a lot together, and that was a bit of a strategic plan moving forward. So still plenty of stuff happening. I'll still be getting around, hopefully a few live stream games. Heaps of stuff. So it's exciting. It's hectic. It's busy. It's Deer Park, obviously. A lot of travel, a lot of fun, a lot of games, but a lot of family time and a lot of hopefully watching Zoe kick after cricket, and yeah.
Is there anything else you want to tick off the list, mate? Like, does Potters burning deep in you or anything?
Not really.
No?
Nah, it's not. See, I've always been an outdoor player. I've never really done the indoor stuff. I mean, would I like to win the Australian Open indoor again this year? Yes. That gets me back to Potters. Look, the indoor stuff, it's a bit of hit and miss for me. Tick off things. Look, there's probably little things like seem insignificant compared to things that I've won that I'd like to tick off. I mean, I haven't won an Australian championship in singles, so that's something I'd like to do.
Well, Leroy's got that sewn up.
Well, that's right. Yeah, that's it. So, I mean, something like that, I don't know. I haven't really thought about it. I haven't sat down.
You've done that much. You're just enjoying everything at the minute. So the next big thing is Nugget. If we can, go better than last year, try and win it. You said triple. How many? Could you tell me how many times has the Triple Crown ever been done, or has it been done?
Once.
You?
Yeah.
Very nice.
And
we going to do that again?
Yeah, Kelsey and I did it the same year.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right, because that was we talked about it on the trust me to forget that. We talked about that on the last podcast because that was fire up, Aaron, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was
That was got a point to prove.
That was motivational plus that one.
Yeah.
Obviously the fact that it's only been done once, well, like 20 years opportunity probably with the Australian Open, so to speak. So it's not something that's easy, and I don't expect it to be easy, but I think, I'm definitely in a better headspace. Definitely more in tune with my game at the moment. And it's something that's available now. So why not trying to achieve it again? Yeah, I guess probably my biggest motivation now is just try and keep going with this Australian Open record. I reckon I've probably got another, probably about another 5 or 6 years of really seriously going at it. So if the strike rate keeps up, then, if I can get 10, that'd be pretty cool. So
10 in a row or 10 total?
No, 10 total. God, dear me. Mate, Aiden Davis can't keep that story on ice for that long. I mean, he's been itching to put out a story where, Aron Sherriff's record comes crashing down by whoever. And after the final, I said to him, you're going to have to put that story on ice for another 12 months, brother. And he had a laugh and giggled, and he goes, well, hopefully it's a bit longer than 12 months. I said, yeah, me too. But, that's just a bit of fun and banter over those guys. It keeps it real and fresh and funny. And, I was doing it for fun now. I mean, I've had my time.
That's the dangerous part, I think, but you're still motivated to do that at that level just for fun.
Yeah, it is. And it is fun for me now. Like I've got no restrictions. I've got no chains, no handbrakes, no people looking over my shoulder, stab me in the back. I've got none of that anymore. It's just me. It's a real me, and it's the fun me, and it's the way I enjoy playing my sport. I always have. Have I rubbed people the wrong way? Yes. Have I maybe made some poor decisions? Of course I have. Do I really have any regrets? Not really, because I did it my way. So that's my motto from now on. I'm just going to keep doing it my way. My way seems to work. No, I can't sing. I can dance, but I can't sing.
Can't sing. I've heard that, actually.
Yeah, he used to cut the rug back in the day. Yeah. That probably got me in trouble and kicked off a couple of teams. But anyway, that's another story. But yeah, no, look, when I do it the way I want to do it and how I want to do it is when I'm at my best. And that's the way I'm doing it at the moment. So,
well, that'd be pretty cool then, mate. Given that we, as we said, we talked about this last time, that motivation and that dark motivation to get that Triple Crown last time. So it'd be nice to see you do it this way, lay back, enjoying it, just doing it for you. So that'll be good. That'll be cool to see this year, mate. It's all the best to you for that.
Thank you, my man. Yep.
But I wouldn't have been too worried about an invite back. Ali Forsyth got an invite. If he's getting an invite, I'm sure you can have an invite.
Yeah, well, I heard he's the second best podcaster that's been done on here. So, bit of.
Well, I don't know who told you that. He's up there, but I don't know if he's second. Kelly was pretty good. I don't know if he matched Kelly.
Really?
Yeah, but I did say last time, I think he's only going to I think Turles is cutting back on costings. So he's actually sent him and Kelly together so they can room together. He doesn't have to buy another room then. So.
What a smart idea.
Makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like Disco and Jamie Lee. Like all the couples.
Yeah, all the couples. I think Brianna and Twisty are there, yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Clever man, that
tells. He's a dodgy bugger, that tells. Yep.
Mate, it's been an absolute pleasure. All the best for the rest of the year and best of career. And hopefully we're sitting here in 12 months again, talk about 5 in a row and, number 8, mate. But, if you have anything you want to wrap up with, or it's just been a pleasure having you on again, mate. So over to you.
Yeah, no, thanks, DJ. It's always awesome to have a chat with you. But yeah, just to everyone, let's send a message via Facebook, Messenger, text message, phone calls, whatever. I may not have got back to everyone, but please believe I appreciate it. I do love receiving and reading those messages. Yeah, just to, I guess, all my partners that looked after me, Aero, Ace, Neo Max, Niagara, all that crew that leave no stone unturned to allow me to compete at the level that I'm competing at. And yeah, obviously my family are the most important thing to me in my life, and that's from mum and dad and my brother and sister to my family now, Amanda and the kids. And yeah, just thanks for supporting me. Thanks for keeping it real. I keep it real. And if you're hanging around, you see me, you want to chat, just pop up, say good day. I'm more than happy to do that, because it's really humbling to think that you want to take a little bit of time out of your day to come up and have a photo or a chat with me. So I really do appreciate it, and I love you all. And keep following this podcast. This is great. It's real. It's unhinged. It's awesome. So you'll get some genuine feedback about the world of bowls on this podcast. That's why I love coming on here. So thank you.
No, I appreciate it, mate. It's always good to have you. And yeah, a bit of a tearjerker there at the end, mate. Well done, you. It's great to have you on here. Like I said, this is going to be episode 50 that we're putting out there. We didn't think we'd get that far, so it's good to piggyback off you and your 7 Australian Opens. So hopefully we get a bit more traction out of it. But no, thanks for getting up the time again, Aaron. And man, all the best here for the rest of the year.
No worries. Number 100 will be 5th title next year.
Yeah, I like it. We'll keep that. We'll pencil that in.
Beautiful.
Good on you, mate.
No worries, brother. Good to see you.
Well, folks, that was Aron Sherriff giving up his time again to come and have a chat to me about just his career in the last 12 months. And like I said, what keeps driving him on at that Aussie Open, mate? You enjoy that one?
That was good, eh? That's great to hear from blokes like that have been there, done that, especially coming off the back of that Aussie Open win, and hearing his thoughts and things like what he says about nerves on the green, that kind of thing. That was, for me, like, to hear that somebody like that maybe did have nerves, but obviously over time those quell a bit, because you'd love to know what's going through his head when he's standing on the mat to deliver a bowl or a big bowl and what happens. But yeah, stuff like that. Love to hear that kind of stuff. I do anyway. Hopefully our listeners enjoyed that conversation you had with the one and only Aron Sherriff and yourself, DJ.
Yeah, definitely. It was always a good one. Always good to sit down with Aron. So thanks for his time. We'll not review that one too much, mate. We'll just crack on, let that one do its own thing. So that's us for the next fortnight. I will be clearing off to the Gold Coast to see baby brother Aron up there for a bit, taking the family up. And I don't want to hear from you for 2 weeks, Simon. So that's all right with you, mate?
That is fine with me.
Yeah, good stuff. Righto. So as always, folks, if you're playing bowls anytime soon, keep that little disc on the inside.
And good luck on those greens. The views, information, or opinions expressed during What a Load of Bulls podcast episodes are solely those of the individuals involved and do not represent those of any group, organization, or employer associated or affiliated to individuals. This podcast is for general information purposes only, to educate and inform. This podcast does not constitute professional advice or services. What a Load of Bulls does not guarantee the accuracy or reliability of any opinions expressed or statements made within episodes.